From Colunga Alta, I get a cut. For me, I'm going to parry that with my dagger. Keep your eye on the sword hand. As you do so, you step your right foot and you thrust a punta reversa in the chest. So all really in one moment here. Don't draw your hand back here when thrusting. Simply turn your sword up into the chest as you step, at the same time parrying that on your dagger, keeping your eye on the sword hand, not the target that you're hitting. After you've done so, hit the chest, pass back crossing your weapons, and resume your guard. There's another option here. Still parrying that, still stepping, but striking a mandrito. Now, there's more than one way you can do that. Like I just did there, as I'm parrying, I'm lifting my sword and striking. I don't like taking my sword in one direction, stopping it, and then cutting. You can turn your sword and strike and make the mandrito that way. Your sword can move in a continuous motion. Parry that and strike across the sword arm here. If we're stepping more sideways, I'm close enough to hit the sword arm really well. I don't have to step close enough to hit the head. So that's why this is not a forward step. Step more to the side. Get your sword moving first. Sword moving first. Now, parrying a sword with a dagger. Try not to parry it out here. It's not good. You're stepping into that. You parry it here into the forte of the sword. Keep your eye on that sword hand. Strike across the sword arm. After you've done that, pass back, crossing your swords, and resume your guard. Here against a mandrito, you're going to cross your weapons, passing forward, blocking the mandrito. Now, something about this. I'm doing it this way with my dagger on top. In dall Agocchie's general advice, before he describes the plays, he said that when you parry with your weapons crossed, that you'll put your dagger's true edge on your sword's false edge, which means your sword's on top. But this is an exception to that. That doesn't work here because of what has to follow that. So when you go in, make sure your dagger's on top, points are downward. From here, strike the leg with a reversal, and then pass back to your original guard. Strike and return. So just bring your dagger on top of your sword. See, the arms are straight the entire time. Don't bend them. Keeping them straight, step forward, and with a strong core like this, stop that cut. Continuing to defend your head, take your sword back under your dagger arm, strike the leg with a reverso, and pass back with your points aimed right at your opponent's face. Make sure they've got an opening. Make sure they've got a path to strike you. Otherwise they won't, or they'll provoke you. So that means I give him a little opening, and I make sure he's close enough if I have to move a little forward, if I have to press him a little bit. And dall Agocchie said that that's a good idea when you've got something in your left hand. He didn't prefer that if you did not have something in your left hand, but he says with the dagger, pressing is a good idea. So you can press. Turning over. One more way to defend yourself against a mandrito in this guard is to use your true edge into guardia di faccia, passing your right dominant foot forward, accompanied by your dagger. That's a phrase they all use when they just mean use your dagger to the best of your ability in whichever way is logical. They never give explicit instructions here, but I'm just going to use my sword primarily because also this is a technique done with the sword alone. Same thing is done sort of unaccompanied. So in this case, I'll just be accompanying my dagger and my sword together, so they're working in conjunction. But primarily it's the sword. Don't, as always, don't bring your point in here first, thinking your objective is to hit the face with the point, because your point will get set aside by that powerful mandrito. The point of contact in your sword should be in your forte, Even here, even as it's a thrust, you see it's still, see, yes, I'm thrusting in his face, but where's my point? Not yet there. It will be there. I have to make sure that I use my forte. I have to make sure I stop his mandrito on my true edge first. There's the priority. That's priority. And then the dagger will, of course, just drop a few inches into the face. There is a step of the back foot. However, there should be, see the turn of the body. Because when I'm taking it on the true edge, going eventually into Gordi di Faccia, I'm turning my shoulders. Therefore, you'll see a turn here, as then I will step straight ahead forward. Catch this, stepping forward all in one, stabbing through the face. You see by the turn, you see how quickly I can close that line by rotating my shoulders, and then the point will go there. Just be certain that you're not sending your sword straight up here through like that, thinking that you want to stab the face. You do, but you want to defend yourself first. Very clear about that. The point going directly for the face won't work. It'll get set aside or struck down. Your forte, first occupying the space, and then going into the face with the point as you step forward. Then step back, pass back, returning to your guard. Yes, this is all really one motion. You can consider this a single time counter, but it's made of more than one motion, and you need to separate them and examine them. The first motion is to save your life. Turn. No matter how fast he wants to throw it, doesn't matter. I turn. And my arm being straight, don't bend it. That's not helping you. You need to get it out there quicker and straight. And no matter how fast, I'll be able to turn faster than he can throw it. I turn, and then it's going in. So the first motion of what is really a single motion, the first part of that, is to turn, and turn your front foot. It turns your shoulders, your arm is straight, catch it in the forte, and you just relax your wrist. So don't step first. If you stepping first, you're too aggressively trying to wound. Make sure you defend yourself first. It's fast enough to turn and step. That happens very quickly. But it should be in that order. Don't step and turn. I want to make sure I do get my point in the face. So from my turn, it's easy for me to drop my point into the face. If you start stepping, you're shortening the time in which you have to put the point in the face. You'll have trouble with that. So even again, forgetting the dagger, I stop it by turning, and then I'm finding his face with my point very easily. If I start stepping, first of all, I'm running into that, and I'm not trying to beat him. I'm not trying to beat him because, again, my point going into his face this way, he'll win that. And I don't want to step in while I defend it, because now I can't get I'm too close to put my point in his face because my point's already behind the target. I'd have to pull back to get my point in there. So there is a sequence to this. Turn with your arm extended, find the face and step forward. That can all be blended into one fast, seamless, single action.